Well, we know that statement came at around 11:45 this morning from Buckingham Palace. We also know that the Queen did have direct contact with the Prince of Wales the week he had the disease. He emerged from isolation on Thursday, and that was his second bout of the illness. Now, COVID symptoms can appear anytime between 2 and 14 days after exposure. Now, a palace source has told me this morning that a number of staff have indeed also tested positive for coronavirus within the Windsor Castle bubble, which would suggest that Prince Charles may not be the only one to have potentially exposed the Queen to the virus, or indeed, the one to have exposed her. Now, people understandably are concerned because the Queen is, of course, 95 years old. She turns 96 in April, in just a couple of weeks' time. But we are led to believe that she has had 3 jabs, which could ease people's concerns. But I think the fact that Buckingham Palace has said in the statements that she is continuing with light duties during the time that she has coronavirus would suggest that the virus hasn't affected her all that much. And I'm sure that no doubt palace officials are still very much preparing for her Jubilee celebrations, Platinum Jubilee celebrations later this year.
Fascinating when you said about talking to all of your sources, and I know you have been, but that's why I explain why we were talking to you now rather than earlier on before you'd made all of the calls. I had fascinatingly nuanced responses from Robert Jobson and Charles Ray about the decision to issue the statement. Clarity with the public, or concern we better actually get this one out there. What's the vibe that you're picking up, not on the content of the statement so much as the decision to actually issue a statement at all?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it, Alistair? Because I remember when the Prince of Wales did test positive for the virus for a second time, and we knew the palace confirms that he was in direct contact with Her Majesty the Queen. They did actually refuse to say whether or not the Queen has also tested positive. I think the fact that they have released a statement here today does suggest that they are trying to be as transparent as possible with the monarch's health. We are led to believe as well that she is tested every day for coronavirus. Of course, she has lots of meetings with various palace officials. Just last week, I think it was Wednesday, we saw that she had a meeting with 2 military officials where she said that famous line, "As you can see, I can't move," when she had her walking stick and she was asked how she was. So I think it just shows that the spirit of Her Majesty, the fact that she has that good old British spirit of keeping calm and carrying on, even the fact that she does have COVID suggests that she wants to be as transparent as possible with the public. But of course, the palace always maintains the fact that health is a private matter, and there are 2 different sides to the Queen, her public life and private life. So I think they would like us to respect her medical privacy and will give us updates when necessary.
It is extraordinary, and it's not remotely a royal word to use, but Her Majesty is a mistress of banter, because I do remember exactly the scene that you're describing, but not that long ago, General Snick Carter, when he stood down as Chief of the Defence Staff and came in his fabulous morning attire of a very senior general, there was much mirth between Her Majesty, Nick, and the fact that there was a poodle in there as well for the audience. I don't mean a poodle at all. I mean a corgi. Sorry.
Yes. So it was actually a cross. It was a dorgie. Yes. Yes. Her name. The dog's name is Candy, and I believe those 2 military officials she met on Wednesday also had a run-in with her, and said that she was standing guard. I think the Queen and her pets have a strong bond between the 2 of them.
People who are with us on television are seeing lovely pictures of Her Majesty going about her duties. This one we're just looking at on television is with, I think that's Prince Edward there in the middle, perhaps something to do with the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme or something. Simply putting a picture in there, which folk listening to us on radio can't see, of a busy, active woman, but a woman who is still in her mid-90s. And therefore, we need to be measured, we need to be sensible about it, but we need to be factual as well, Cameron.
Yes, as you say, Alistair, she is in her mid-90s, but she is also our head of state. She is Her Majesty the Queen, she is our monarch, and she is going to continue duties for the rest of her life. And long may it continue. Those pictures you were referring to there of her and Prince Edward outside the gates of Buckingham Palace was in fact the start of the Queen's Commonwealth baton relay for the Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games. And she does plan, as we've been told, to carry out a number of duties in the run-up to the Jubilee, and she will continue with duties for a long time to come. But that doesn't take away from the fact that doctors last year did order her to rest. She missed the Remembrance Sunday service at the Cenotaph in November last year due to a sprained back. And she also she also had a reception with business leaders back in October, and she spent a night in hospital. And I think the palace did try to cover up the fact that she was spending a night in hospital for what they call preliminary investigations, because they didn't want to panic or worry the public. But I think also the public do kind of want a right to know what is going on with the health of the monarch. But I think for now she is staying strong and carrying on, keeping calm and carrying on even though the fact that she has coronavirus, she is going to continue with duties as she has done all her life, Alistair.